Now then, well, after high demand, I've decided finally to do a video on what goes into Blue's backpack. This is just a gorgeous dog, isn't he? Hey? This is about you. Hey, it's about you. Here's a good boy. Right, lie down then. Always just wants attention. So starting with the backpack itself. Now this one's made by Roughwear. I don't know anything about any other brands or anything. I just bought this one because it looked like exactly the right thing that I wanted to buy for him. And I also got it for £57 in a sale. Normally I think it's about 95 quid, which sounds quite expensive, but to be fair, this has been absolutely caned. Canined. Dad joke, I'm allowed to do those. It's been up several mountains, been through loads of rivers, it's been rubbed up against every rock going, every style going, and it is still going strong, this thing. So yeah, really robust bit of kit. I like the simplicity of this as well. Some get a bit too faffy. I mean, pretty much you just want a couple of pockets to shove some bits in. It fits in well, it's adjustable, and obviously you just clip it on. You know, you can get it on and off quite easy as well, which is good. It comes with a place just to put a lead. There's a grab handle here as well, which is actually quite handy for me because obviously we do quite a lot of mountain stuff. So when we are climbing up some pretty unforgiving terrain, I can sometimes grab hold of him and either hoy him up or actually hold him with this and then lower him down down a ledge. But 99.9% of the time, he don't need it because he's just a complete trained athlete, that thing. So simple, two little pockets on the top, two little lid pockets we'll call them, in which one side I will have some doggy bags just to make sure that you're clearing up after him, and also a lead. I never have him on a lead, but I carry one just in case because, you know, by law, if you're told to put one on by the landowner or the farmer, you have to put him on the lead, so that's why I carry one. The other side of this, I have got simply a rope. This rope, which it will obviously take his weight, but it actually takes my weight as well. So it's just one of those things that as a just in case. Carabiner on that end, and that just allows me to, again, if I need, quite simply, I can clip him on, and with this, it's like a, I don't know, maybe a 6 or 7 metre rope. I can actually lower him down if needed, or potentially pull him up just to rescue him or just to continue our journey. Into the main pockets then. So we'll start with one side. Sometimes I'll carry a ball for him, but generally he'll just bring me a stone or something like that, and we'll just play fetch with a stone or a stick, obviously. This is the actual rain cover for this, so it's just like a backpack cover that you'd have yourself, but it's just shaped to fit this bag. So if you can see, a central section and then just two boobs off it. So it's just a big bra really. Just sit that on, and at least it'll keep this contents dry. Food next. So how I feed him. So for one night out, I will take 2 pouches. So I'll get one on an evening and one in the morning. But that goes with, I'm just going to the other side. On this side, I've got some dry food. It's just a nice way of feeding him, a little bit of this and a bit of that. And I'll carry a little bit of raw stuff as well to get some offcuts of meat and things like that, just which get mixed up in the bag. Just a couple of sort of treats, like that. Yeah, you can have it, dog. So that's his food sorted, and that will last him for a full night and morning, and then sometimes, obviously, if I'm out for a couple of nights, I'll just double up on the food, that's all. So depending on conditions, this is his Gore-Tex bivy bag, which I made out of an old army Gore-Tex bivy bag. So quite simply, it's big enough to fit him in and zip him up. I've made it so the zip is on this side here. And I can just get him inside with his mat inside, and then at least he's out of the wind, out of the weather, and, you know, depending on what we're doing, it'll just keep him safe and dry, really. Just made sure that I've left on a couple of tie-ons points, which just means I can pin it to the floor so it's not going to blow away as well. I've also got a tiny piece of tarp here. just big enough to fit under his mat. So just in case it's absolutely soaking, I can just sort of lay that down first. And again, it's just another sort of thing you can cover him up with, just as another layer. I often put my down jacket over him if he's really cold. So yeah, that'll go on first just to protect my down jacket really, because you're filthy half the time, aren't you? I'll show you a picture now, filthy. This is the dog. Hey Blue. What am I supposed to do with this now? He just don't get it. Seriously, what am I supposed to do with him now? You love your kids no matter what, don't you? Yep, I have to deal with that sometimes. What a mess. Hey Bluey dog, big mess. So the next thing in here, let's do how I actually feed him. So this is a piece of silicone mat really, which I think it's like a tray to go under a dog bowl, just so when they're sort of feeding, it doesn't sort of drop onto your carpet or your floor at home. So all I've done is, I think it was 2 sections. So I've cut a section off, and then obviously I just use that for popping his food on, just keep it off the floor. Half the time I'll feed him just off the floor because he is not bothered. Dogs aren't. You don't need to pamper dogs like a lot of people do. The good thing about this is as well, it acts as his water bowl. So all I do is just do a little bit of a twist in that. I can pop the water in there, and that just allows to hold plenty for him, just to make sure that he's got his drink as well. All I do is I either hold it for him, or I will just punch a hole in the ground with those massive tough fists of mine and then just pop it in there. This also doubles up for me as well for fitting on my stove. So I'll put my tripod of my stove on there with my gas canister and the cooking stove itself, and it's just a heat proof mat. So if you want to sort of protect your tent base, then obviously it's just a good way of doing it. So yeah, double purpose, worth carrying. Let's just go on to his sleeping system. So obviously he's got the bivvy bag that he can go on the outside of everything. This is pretty much all he needs. Generally I'm sleeping on grass, so that's comfy enough for him to sleep on anyway. But I'll put this down, which is his mat that I made. So again, it's just out of Gore-Tex. I've just cut 2 squares, made it into basically a pillow, stitched around the outside. But then on the inside of this, I've got 8 layers of foil blanket. So that just provides him with some reflective heat back to his body. He's good to about -10, I would say, just laid on that. He loses a little bit of heat through it, I'm sure, but you know, he's absolutely fine with that. But what I do is, to make it a bit more comfortable for him, I carry a folding mat, which I've cut to sort of fit this. So one goes on top of the other, like that, and then I can pin that down, and obviously that just takes out any bumps or little stones or something that, if there are any in the ground. I mean, the good thing about Blue is, here, come here. Good boy, right, give me 5. That one then. Good lad. He is super thick coated. It's a proper thick double coat, this. I mean, I can just grab hold of him. I could, you know, lift him up by this. And this just keeps him so warm. So just to have something underneath him, just to add to that insulation, then he's fine in 95% of times in the UK's weather. And big toasty warm boy. Yeah, lie down then. Good lad, eh? There's a good lad. So that is pretty much it. The only other thing that I will carry for him sometimes is a foil blanket, because if it does get really cold and he's already wet, then I'll just wrap that over him as well as putting my down jacket on him, so he's always going to be warm. Also, on his collar, just sit up you daft thing. I've just got a name tag on here, which is just my name, postcode and telephone number, so at least if he does go missing, I've got a way that people can actually contact me and get him back, because I don't want to lose this dog, do I? So speaking of losing your dog, it breaks my heart when I see these signs that people have put up where they're saying like dog missing. and you see them quite often, especially in places like the Lake District and other mountainous areas where they've had the dog out for the day and it's just gone off, possibly chased something, whatever, but they've just lost the dog. I would be completely gutted if I lost this boy. I really would. It would completely break my heart. And he doesn't know it, does he? My boy. Anyway, we're combating that is to get a GPS tracker. Now I've got one, which is, so this tracker here is made by Tractive or Tractive, and very simply it just attaches to his collar with a couple of little silicone elasticated sections, and you turn this on. You've got an app on your phone, and then pretty much anywhere in the world that this will be sending a signal to a satellite, you can pick it up and find where your dog is. I don't really need this because I don't feel that I'm going to lose Blue, but at the same time, you just never know. So just peace of mind. Now this could sit on his collar, but it also could go in his backpack. So as long as it's on, and it does last for quite a few days when it's charged up, all you do is charge it with a little cable anyway. So I'll go outside and I'll show you exactly how this works, and we'll go lose Blue and then go find him again. There'll be a way of doing it. So I'll just show you another couple of items of interest. Look at this. So this was given to me by a fella who's chatted to me on Instagram. He follows the channel and he loves Blue, and he said, can I do a picture for you of Blue? Obviously, I said that will be fantastic. I'll put it on the wall. When I got it and received it, I was just blown away, but just look at that. Just fantastic, eh? I will leave a link to his Instagram page because he does do tattoos of very high standard, and I'm not one for tattoos, but if I was going to get a tattoo, I would probably get a massive picture of Blue all over my back done by this guy because he is incredible. Something else of interest. Now this dog molts a hell of a lot. He's got such a thick winter coat that when it comes to sort of warming up in sort of spring and early summer, that the amount of hair falls off this dog is ridiculous. Isn't it, Blue? And it's just a nightmare in the house because it just goes everywhere. What I've done is for the last sort of couple of years is when I brush him, I'll show you how much actually comes off the dog. Just look at this photo. This is how much comes off my dog every time I brush him for sort of 4 or 5 times over summer. Ridiculous amount. Anyway, what I've done is bagged up that hair, and with it I've given it to my dad, and my dad has got his spinning wheel out and spun the wool. I've got 2 wool balls here, which potentially I could just knit together and make something out of. And I don't know what to make yet. I could make some possibly gloves or socks or something if I get a bit more of it. If I made a hat and it got damp, I just smell. It actually smells all right at the minute, but I don't know whether you'd smell a wet dog, so I don't know whether I'll be making any underpants out of it anyway. Let's get outside and we'll get this tracker on him and we'll show you exactly how this works. I've just come out to Mum and Dad's, and I'm going to get my dad's helpers out today to lose the dog. So he is going to take the dog with this tracker on its collar, and if you can see already with that, it's scratched and scuffed because it's actually been on his collar for a few months really, battering about in all different weathers and through all the mountains and everything, and it has stayed on. It's got these silicone little clips here which just hold it on really well, so quite happy with that. Anyway, let's get it on the dog, and then we're going to get my dad to take the dog off into the woods, and we'll just see if we can find them. Here then, Blue, come here. Come on. Good boy. All right, sit. Let's get this on your collar. It's hard finding the actual collar with all this hair that he's got. But yeah, I'll just put this silicone clip on. It only takes a second. We'll turn this on with a tiny little button press. Green light flashes and we are ready to go. Right, see you in a bit. Go get lost with Grandad. So this is it. I'm out for a wander. I've lost my dog and now I need to find it. So here we are in the dense dark wood. Definitely a place you could lose a dog, so it will be good just to sort of show you guys that this app and this tracker will work in a place like this. So the first job to do is get your phone and press the app. So straight away, if you can see there, it will give the last known location, which is currently, it's just gone to 10 minutes ago. Now I've got this actually set to 10 minutes, so 10 minutes ago I know exactly where my dog was, but the problem is with that, it's giving you a location which potentially in 10 minutes that dog can go a long way. You can set this to be a shorter time period between the points that it picks it up at 2 to 3 minutes, but the problem with that is it will drain the battery faster. There is a way around that, and this is why this is actually a very clever app. So from this point, what I can do is, the bottom right hand side there, we'll click this button, which is the live button. So I will click on there and it says starting live, and then once that has loaded, it does take a while just to pick up the GPS, and there we go, we are on live. So now I can actually continue walking and find the dog in a more pinpoint location, because it's actually updating every few seconds really. So obviously it's a lot faster and more accurate way of getting your dog. So if we just look on the phone now, I am slowly homing in on the dog. And another way of actually finding the dog if the conditions aren't favourable, say it's dark or maybe foggy, there is actually 2 buttons on the screen here now which you can press. One is a sound button and the other is a light button, which just gives the actual tracker itself a tiny little bit of extra help for you to see it or hear it. Now my ears aren't too good, but I think a young spring chicken would be able to sort of hear the little jingle sound that comes out of it, especially when you're getting closer obviously. But just another thought and another clever idea with it, even if it is just that tiny little bit extra of help. I'm very nearly there now. When you get to this point, if there is any sort of problem with the GPS or anything, you can actually switch to Bluetooth. Now obviously the Bluetooth signal will not be that good for the distance, but it just adds another little extra just in case, especially if your dog's sort of trapped down like a little gully or something like that, or a hole, and you're still getting a little bit of a signal. That Bluetooth might just help you find it in these last sort of 50 meters. If you can see there, I'm on the trail. I'm actually following the path that the dog has taken. So I actually went past the point where I thought the dog was, realised I was going the wrong way, and now I'm heading back down to where the dog is. So if we can see now, the dog's going to be on my left somewhere. So we're going to head through all this greenery to find it. Now we are definitely very close. So what I'm going to do is, if I just click that sound button on now, and then now it's emitting a very, very light sound, which hopefully will help me just find it. And here we go. There's Bluey dog. Hey Blue, that's a good boy. We found you. We found you hiding in the woods. And here's my old man doing the stealth thing, laid down, trying to hide out of my way. And I tell you what, it's accurate, very accurate. There was no problem whatsoever there. I was just talking to the camera and walked past, but then realised I'd gone past, so then all I had to do was just backtrack, and then I have found him laid down, hiding in the woods, where both he loves it and the dog love it, just messing about, getting grubby. Well, that was just a breeze, no messing about at all, and it's fairly sort of thick canopy in this woodland, so obviously the GPS signal is giving a decent signal just to be seen by your app on your phone. So yeah, very happy with it, and you know, it's a really good way of just keeping your dog safe and keeping your dog by your side, because we definitely don't want to be losing them. The app itself has a plethora of features, one showing you exactly how long the dog's been running for, walking for, and even how much it's been sleeping for. So you can actually sort of get to know your dog a little bit better just to do the patterns of how it's getting out and how it's exercising. Another good thing about that is you can actually plot that on a leaderboard against all the other dogs locally that have the app set up as well. And not just that, you can actually do it so it's worldwide, just to sort of see how you are comparing with your dog, and not just for all dogs but for your particular breed as well, which is kind of clever. All the data that the app receives is kept for a year, so you can actually backtrack and see exactly where your dog's been over the last 365 days. You can also set up a virtual fence, and that's usually just a radius from possibly your home or your tent location, and then you'll get a notification as soon as the dog leaves that area. And the good thing is then you can just call the dog back and keep it close by, and so you're not going to lose it. Another good thing as well, you can actually have a no-go zone set up. So there might be a few of those set up which might be dangerous places for the dog to go, and as soon as it's going to enter those areas, you know to get out and go get your dog back. The tracker access also can be shared with other people and other devices, so you would have more people potentially looking for your dog if it does go missing. As I've already mentioned, you can use the Bluetooth to find the dog at closer range, which might help in a scenario where the dog's maybe gone into a farm building or something like that. When the tracker battery is getting low, you will get a notification to your phone as well, which is good because then you know to put it back on charge. You can also set up a profile for your dog, and with that you can just put a photo on, just so when your dog is seen by other people on the leaderboards, then obviously there's a beautiful picture of your dog. You can also set up activity goals, whether that be 30 minutes, 140 minutes, just whatever sort of suits your dog breed. The app also will show you the statistics for the dog as well, just including the amount of exercise it's done, how long it's asleep for on average, and also just the sort of calm time. With it as well, you can actually work out how many calories the dog's burnt, which is kind of good if you are just trying to work out what's best nutrition for it. You can also send friend requests to other dogs, which sounds a bit weird, but you can therefore start a community, you know, potentially meet some friends out there, just so you can get out, meet up and take the dogs for a walk. There are definitely a lot of people who have this worldwide, and you can see why, because it has got a lot of amazing sort of features. And even here in my local area, which is just a tiny little place, but there is quite a large leaderboard. And here, just to name a few, we have Arlo, Pip, Spud, Bovril, Betty, Wilma, Bobby, Willow, Ralph, Walter, Monty and Shep, plus another load. So if you want to give your dog that little bit more care and attention, or maybe you've got a dog like Houdini who will literally escape anything, there's definitely a lot of dogs out there like that, or you just don't have a decent recall for the dog, then having a tracker is definitely something that will just sort of keep you a little bit more calm in situations when the dog does go missing. And obviously none of us want to lose our dogs because we love them dearly. So I will leave a link in the description below, so just check that out. And also, you know, the potential with this tracker, you could actually use it on your kid, you know, like stick it in your kid's pocket if they're just that adventurous kid that loves getting out there and, you know, exploring, just to give you that little bit more peace of mind again. Then it could be used for that. And I am all for free range children. I spent my life as a kid just totally free range, and I feel I benefited massively because of it. So anyway, that's just me. Let's get back home and we'll wrap up. So there we go, one tired dog after playing in the woods for the last couple of hours. And that is it. All the gubbins that goes in Blue's backpack. There's one other thing that I haven't mentioned, and that's a little light which I've got clipped on the back. And this is aiming towards me, because he always spends his time in front of me, so this just allows me to see him in the distance, especially when it's getting dark at night. And also, if you're walking by a road, it's definitely worth having a light for a dog, because then at least the driver will see it well in advance. If you're interested in any of the kit that the dog has, or any of the kit that I use when we are out wild camping, then just check out the description below. There's generally a link to most things in there, and that is including the Tractive GPS dog tracker. If you've got any other suggestions of kit for a dog, then please drop a comment below, because it's always helpful for us dog owners just to sort of have a better idea and understanding of what works and what doesn't. So that will be greatly appreciated. If you're new to the channel, then please check out our other videos. We have been to some stunning locations on some epic adventures, and I guarantee there's going to be plenty of those videos that you're going to really enjoy. So from me and the beautiful Blue, we'll see you another day. Take care.